Hey everybody, welcome into Siren Records Monterey. This is Fresh Catch Friday with Cass and Lorain, and Cass is here and I'm here. And we're going to start with Picks of the Week. This guy always kicks us off. What's good?
Alright, this week I picked the new Comet is Coming album, Trust in the Life Force of the Deep Mystery. That's a really long album title. I've been having trouble with that. This is a jazz trio, new jazz they call it, and like NU, from London, England. This is their second studio album. They just signed to Impulse recently, legendary jazz label. And this caught my attention just because of the album cover, and I listened to it. It's really, really good. It's just a saxophone, drums, and a synth player. And I recognized the saxophone sound for some reason. I couldn't figure out why, and then I looked it up, and it turns out saxophone player is also in Sons of Kemet, which was actually one of my favorite albums of last year. Second favorite album, I'd say. Daughter's one was first, but that was one of my favorite albums of last year. It was incredible. His saxophone playing is absolutely just brilliant, and he's pretty much one of the biggest innovators in jazz as of late. He's in so many different projects, and I was pretty pleasantly surprised when I realized he was in this group as well. But this is very different than Sons of Kemet. This is a very trippy, psychedelic approach to jazz, much like Sun Ra. He actually worked with Sun Ra's orchestra after Sun Ra passed away, so he has some ties to him. And yeah, like I said, very kind of spacey, as you could tell by the album cover. And I was reading a story that the two guys, so he's playing saxophone, the two guys go by Danalog and Betamax or something. And those two guys are in another project called Soccer 96 in England. And he caught one of their live shows, saw them, and was blown away by it. And he kept going to their shows. And I read in this interview, they said they kept seeing this tall, shadowy figure like in the middle of their show. And they're like, who is this guy that keeps coming to our show in the back, you know? And then eventually they saw him at the side of the stage with a saxophone in his hand. And then he just came on and jammed with them. And it was just such an incredible performance.
Wow.
Now they're a group, and it's pretty incredible stuff. You know, I definitely think there's a bit of a important jazz scene going on in England right now. A lot of great artists, a lot of them involving Mr. Shabaka, the sax player I keep talking about. So check this out if you're into jazz, or if you just want to hear something new, something fresh. It's really, really great, and it's $20.95 black vinyl. Come pick it up.
It's kind of interesting. I don't know that normally just hanging out with your instrument at the side of the stage is I think that's frowned upon. I don't know that it's a good thing he was good.
He was waiting to step in, yeah. I mean, they could just tell he looked really powerful, you know.
Yeah,
so.
well, I'm glad it worked out because it could have been a disaster. I don't think that's encouraged normally, but okay, well, good for that. Okay. This week I have for you Black Audio. This is Only Things We Love. This is on Cobalt through BMG. Nice cover there. This, of course, is the side project of Davey Havoc and Jade Puget of AFI. And this is the fourth studio album. And as Black Audio, they are an electronica band. They are nowhere near the way that AFI makes music. But this is just their side project, and they've been doing it for a while. And this time it's like they're combining dark 80s industrial influences alongside of that distinctly modern future pop feel that they do. And it's more subdued, but it's still very emotional. They've kind of been struggling over time. I think critics, have been kind of rough on them for this project because, well, don't expect AFI. It's a totally different thing. So you got to give this a chance, in its own way. And it's like a combination of influences that range from Depeche Mode and Bauhaus and The Prodigy and Duran Duran. As weird as that sounds, they put it all together because those are kind of things they were listening to growing up. And I think that they've always had a love for that kind of synth pop music. So, they're just doing what they do. And it's very unique, and it's entirely its own thing. So check it out for $21.95. The first initial pressings of this come on what they're calling water or flower picture discs, and they are beautiful. Like the water, I'm going to show you this. The water disc looks just like this, the whole disc, but the flower one, it's incredible. It really looks like that. It's black vinyl with these gorgeous flowers all over it. It's the most beautiful piece of vinyl, really. And we only have a couple of those. I'll show you if you come in the store this is the way to tell them apart. The white sticker is the flowers and the black sticker is the water. And we have only a couple of these flowers and much more in the way of the water. So it also includes an MP3 download card, and check them out, $21.95, pretty reasonably priced. And okay, so your boys, they're at it again.
Nice.
All right?
So it's like a picture disc sort of
Yes,
thing. It's not like a color.
No, it's
inside the
beautiful.
vinyl.
It's just like this beautiful, like, well, black disc with just these flowers all over it, or that water.
That's
and it's
pretty
just,
cool.
I mean, just I really would love to crack one open and show you, but we
None of
can't.
us are.
So,
Someone's got to buy it.
well, that's true, and I mean, almost worth it just for the flowers alone, because I've never seen anything like
Yeah,
that.
that
It's
sounds like
actually
pretty,
gorgeous. So,
Innovative
anyway,
idea there.
here for you now. I'm sure you've got a few other things you want to mouth off about, though, right?
Yes. All right, let's see. First, let's talk about this. Actually, no, let's talk about this first. Fallujah. I don't know how it's pronounced. Fallujah. They're a San Francisco-based technical death metal, progressive metal band. This is their 5th studio album, I believe. And they recently had a bit of a lineup change. Their vocalist has been, I don't know if he's just been replaced or if he just had to leave for some reason. His name's Antonio Palermo. He is their new vocalist. And Fallujah, they're a band I've always kind of been a fan of because I like their, usually technical death metal is a very atonal, kind of like, just very dissonant genre. There's not much melody in there, but Fallujah, they always had some pretty beautiful guitar melodies, some beautiful guitar tones, and some synth passages too. They just create a pretty cool atmosphere, much like The Contortionists, another band in this genre I like a lot. But the vocals now, they've changed quite a bit. They're usually, before there would be like low kind of growl, like death metal style growls, and then some clean vocals. But this new vocalist, he has a very high-pitched vocal style. Kind of reminds me of In Flames a little bit. And it's pretty interesting. I was reading online, some people really don't like the new vocalist, some people really, really like it. So it's a pretty polarizing album from what I've read. I personally like it a lot. I listened to the whole thing this morning, and his vocals, they match with the sounds pretty well. You think they wouldn't because the instrumentals are pretty beautiful and, like I said, very melodic, and his vocals are very harsh, and they just like cut through all the melody. But it's pretty cool contrast, I think. And the album cover, pretty nice. It's limited. We have 2 different color pressings. This one's on bone and orange swirl vinyl, limited to 900. And they're both $21.95. This is, like I said, they're both limited to 900 as well.
What's the other color?
The other one is purple and black splatter. So,
okay.
pretty cool. So if you like some progressive metal, some technical progressive metal, come check that out.
How much is that again?
$21.95.
Is that on Nuclear Blast?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they always do really good with their color pressings, and
okay.
they always have pretty limited runs on those. So.
Yeah, it's interesting how you were saying the music being kind of complex in that way, that you really do need a singer that can like cut through that and be heard. And I heard a little bit of this morning when you had it on, and yeah, I would say that new guy, whoever he's getting the job done, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I mean, when I was reading, some people were like, "Oh, this should have clean vocals on it because the instrumentals are so clean and bright." But I think a lot of bands already do that kind of sound. I think this was a bit of a new direction, so
okay.
I respected it. Okay, we have another new direction here. Stephen Malkmus, he has gone almost full 80s synth electronic jargon. I don't know what genre he's really going for because there's a lot of different genres on here. A lot of it very 80s, but I gotta say when I first heard it, I wasn't like in love with it, but I heard it a few times now, and it's actually grown on me a bit. It's pretty cool. It's if you heard his last album with Steve Malkmus and the Jicks, this is not anywhere close to that because he's not with the Jicks. This is just Steve Malkmus, so it's all him and his electronic drum machine or whatever he's using here. And for those of you that don't know, Steve Malkmus, he's from Pavement. Pavement, very legendary indie rock group from Stockton. And his solo material has been pretty much, for the most part, sounds like Pavement, and that last album with the Jicks, very Pavement sounding, but it was a really great solo album for him, one of his best in years.
I think so.
But he just decided, you know what, that was a good album, but I'm just going to throw that all out the window, do something completely different, very bold. like I said, very 80s inspired. The second track on here, the bass tone sounds just like New Order or something like that. And then the third track, the lead single, the electronics sound like Kraftwerk or Yellow Magic Orchestra. So pretty interesting. But however, the second half gets more of like an indie rock style, and he kind of goes back to that sound a little bit on like a few tracks. So the first half very electronic, then the second half there's some real drums. It's kind of weird. I think he was going for an A-side, B-side sort of contrast on that, I guess. But like I said, pretty experimental, pretty bold, pretty risky, but I hope it pays off for him because, he's been around a long time, and for him to put something out this wild is pretty cool, actually. I respect that. And it's not on colored vinyl or anything. It's just black vinyl, $21.95. So check it out if you're a Malkmus head.
Yeah, I thought that was like I was listening to the wrong thing almost when I was like, okay, let's listen to this Steve Malkmus, and then
those couple tracks.
Yeah, and you're
like,
thinking, oh, wow, because Sparkle Hard was so, for me, had even like moments where it really reminded me of like old Sonic Youth, you know? Then this, that's kind of what I was expecting, and then when this, well, anyway, I agree with you though. Good for him for changing it up. I think that's very admirable, and I wish more people would do that instead of being predictable all the time. I mean, I guess if it's not broke, don't fix it, but I like when they step out and do something, risky like that. Okay, so my picks, again, well, you know my pick, but this one could have been my pick, but I thought since it's a reissue, I shouldn't have it as my pick, but it's the Fall Bend Sinister, and it's with the Doomsday Payoff Triad Plus on Beggar's Banquet. Now, Beggar's Archive, they're excited to announce the long-awaited reissue of the Fall's ninth studio album. Ben Sinister was originally released in 1986, and this edition has the Doomsday Payoff Triad Plus, and it was the last of 3 albums in a row that was produced by John Leckie, and this was named after a dystopian novel by Vladimir Nabokov, which is like Lolita. And Mark Smith was a pretty literary guy, so those things are in all kinds of references of stuff like that in Fall records. So the previous year to this was This Nation's Saving Grace, which everybody loved that record so much that this one kind of paled for a little while, and it really shouldn't have, because over the years, people are now kind of including this in their top list of fall albums. I mean, it's got Mr. Pharmacist on it, which is just, that track is just so good. And also on here you get Hey Luciani, Lucifer Over Lancashire, and Livin' Too Late. These are all like brilliant songs. Anyway, can't say enough about the Fall, but this one is remastered, newly transferred from analog tapes. It's a double LP. It's got a gatefold sleeve with inner bags. It includes a replica program for the Riverside production of Hey Luciani, and it is $28.95, and I just love the Fall so much. I can't even stop talking about them. So great.
And look out for those 4 Fall albums, live Fall albums coming out on Record Store Day. So the England ones.
Yes.
Those should be good if you're a Fall fan.
I wonder if those are any of the shows I was at. I mean, this band, like, cool. I mean, I remember they were like the resident house band in London when I was there, and it was like we would see them all the time, and it was just like they were always around, very accessible, always a joy, and I'm really looking forward to checking that out. All right, and something else I want to let you know about is The Faint. This is Ego Work on Saddle Creek. Now, Ego Work is their first album in 5 years, and this is an Omaha electro rock band, and they're just finding more reasons to stay angry and keep dancing. Now, the thing about this band is they've always put out stuff that is just kind of almost like I don't know, bitching about things for the sake of it. They haven't really been strong on substance. They're more on sound. But this time around, they're trying to maybe tackle something that is more topical and resonant with everybody, which would be like social media, and specifically the way that online platforms play into society's worst instincts, and you get people bullying each other, misinformation, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of complaining about that in here, but especially in the wake of 2016, we see how people willingly spread misinformation and like I say, bullying each other. And then There's also a gradual erosion of your self-esteem that comes with spending too much time in an artificial environment. So that's kind of heavy for them because they're not typically like that. And again, if you're just giving it a light listen, you'll think, oh, it's like more 80s stuff. I mean, I was kind of running through the new releases today and thinking, wow, everybody's doing like this kind of synth pop thing. What's up with all the heavy 80s? Very heavy-handed with that. But anyway, oh, you know, the other thing that is funny that they comment on is how comparing yourself on social media to everyone else who's trying to make their life look better than yours, and how it's all kind of, you know, it's shade in the house, you know. So anyway, this includes a digital download. It's $19.95. Give it a listen. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I like that too. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
We
did
were
you
playing
like
it
this as
morning.
well?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
pretty dancey.
All right, I'm gonna hand you the pile of the other stuff, and we'll give you guys some prices and show you what's what. All right, we are ready. First up, we have the Alarm Strength. This is 1985 to 1986, 2 LPs, $24.95. Now, I'm kind of surprised that in the space of a year, they have enough to put out a double. You know, from 85 to 86, were they that productive?
I don't even know who they are. The
Oh,
Alarm.
well, they were kind of like a U2 ripoff band, but they had their own hits and stuff like that. But
Jeez, look at
I
that
just,
hair.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Does it have us anything on the note on the front that would give us any more insight as to why this is a double?
Well, it's unreleased demos.
Okay.
So, I guess if you're just doing demos, you could have tons of material, really.
You could. Necessary? I don't know. But anyway, $24.95. So
Alright.
next up we have Bouncing Souls. Oh, oops, I'm sorry. Finn Andrews, One Piece at a Time, LP, 1995. Who is Finn?
I don't know, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, wow, it looks, I don't know what's going on there. I can't even tell, to be honest
Well,
with
if that's
you.
Finn Andrews on the cover, they look pretty young.
Yeah, very
Shout out
childlike.
to young artists.
All right, 1995. Bouncing Souls, Crucial Moments, $11.95. Boy, that's a reasonably priced LP, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, now we've got Don Cherry, Brown Rice, $17.95. Do you know, you probably know this, Don Cherry is the father of Nena Cherry.
Oh, okay. I figured that would be true, but I never got a confirmation on that.
Yes,
but
it's the truth.
that's cool.
And that one, did I tell you how much that was? $17.95.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Now we've got Contrarian. Oh, excuse me. God, Cass, I can't even read today. It's like, thanks for having me.
alright.
All right, Cinematic Orchestra, To Believe, 2 LPs, $24.95. What did you think of this today when we listened to it?
This was pretty cool. I mean, I like older cinematic orchestra, had more of that new jazz sound. This was very more on the orchestra side of it. I mean, they've always had that sound where it just sounds like you're listening to a movie soundtrack or something. And that's cool. You know, it was a little sleepy for me.
I thought so too.
But it has some cool features. Moses Sumney, Roots Manuva, so pretty cool. If you're a fan of theirs, you should check it out. It's no
Good
slouch.
background music. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I thought the same thing. And I think I even said after the first or second track, oh, this is a bit of a sleeper. But, you know.
But they usually are, so if
Okay.
you like them, I think you'll like it.
Now we have Devo, Turnaround, B-Sides, and more. This is Run Out Groove, isn't it?
Contrarian, too.
Oh, God, what am I doing? All right, I'm going to really concentrate. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Busting up this episode. Come on.
Okay. Contrarian, Their Worm Never Dies. This is $22.95. And what's this all about?
Just some more technical death metal jargon. If you like the Fallujah album, you should check this out too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. Now we have Devo, Turnaround, B-Sides, and more. And this is Run Out Groove, correct?
Yes it is.
All right, and this is 1978 to 1984. It's $26.95. Does it say how many? I'm sure it must say how many.
It doesn't actually.
What?
So that
I
means
don't
there's
like when they do that.
probably a lot of them.
Limited and
maybe.
never-
I don't know
well-
why some do that sometimes.
I think though that this one has like a cell stop on it right now, so you might want to grab it now because it's going to be hard to get it back in.
Yeah, it looks pretty good too.
So,
Your Evo head.
wow, and it should be colored vinyl too sometimes, Run Out Groove?
Yeah,
Oh, we don't
usually
know.
is. Doesn't say.
All right, it's an Easter egg. But this one does say it's numbered 2,848, so we know that there's been more than 2,000 made, but we don't know exactly how many, okay? Now we've got Drive-By, Back Onto Black. This is 1995,
Okay, cool.
okay? Now we've got Hot Water Music, the new the new What's Next. What? What? The new What Next? Opaque Blue Vinyl, $20.95.
That is a pretty weird album title.
Let me see that cover. Oh, it's not a bad cover though, but that is a weird album title. Wow. All right, Lauren Jenkins, No Saint, 180 gram, $17.95.
Nice.
This is very similar to the Finn Andrews, but it's like if Finn Andrews grew up.
Oh, God. You're right. It's his sister.
Maybe. All right. New Order, Everything's Gone Green, 12-inch, $15.95. Excellent. Beautiful. Is that remastered or something?
I don't really know much about this, actually.
Is there a sticker on the front that gives you any info?
Nope.
No, nothing.
No sticker. It's pretty secretive.
Okay.
So.
Well, that is such a great track, though. So, good one. And $15.95. Okay, a little pricey for a 12, but probably worth it.
It's New Order.
So. All right. Overkill, Wings of War, gray vinyl, 2 LPs, $29.95.
Nice.
Okay.
100th album, but they're pretty consistent thrash band, you gotta say. So check it out if you like thrash.
All right, now we've got Steve Perry Traces. I'm confused because I thought we already did this, but now I'm noticing one is called a Deluxe 2 LP and one is the Deluxe Lenticular. Now, this Lenticular is like one of the most amazing ones I've ever seen. If I don't know if you can get it to read on camera, but it's so great in front of your face that it really looks like you could literally be like reaching in there and around and stuff. It's incredible.
Oh,
I don't know if it really when I see it, it doesn't scream Steve Perry to me, but what do I know? I'm not that I don't know. And so anyway, he's the former lead singer from the band Journey, that 70s big arena band. Well, see, a lot of people though, I think it's kind of smart sometimes when these guys that have been so successful, they just take off and enjoy their life and their money for a while. You don't have to keep in the game. But I think people have always kind of hoped that he would have some more solo stuff come out or this or that. And it's been very long in between periods. So this just kind of, like I said, I could swear Cass and I just talked about this not long ago.
We did. I don't know what
but
makes
now,
this one.
Well, they're deluxing it up. Because side C is October in New York, whatever. Well, I don't know. That doesn't, maybe that's just a really long track. I don't know what's happening.
Who knows?
All right, so the deluxe one is $27.95, but that lenticular one is $44.95. That's a real pricey thing. You got to have deep pockets for that. But I think that there are people that really, really like this guy that much that it's going to go.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, now we got Sam Rivers, Contours. This is Blue Note Tone Poet Series. This is $27.95.
All right.
And then we have the soundtrack to The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Season 1, $17.95. No, you got Mary Poppins there.
Oh, shit. They both look vaguely similar.
I'm sitting here chopping at me because I'm screwing up. Look at you go. Okay, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Season 1, $17.95. Do you know what this is?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't look like my kind of thing from the cover, but maybe.
Well, it's obviously from a show if it's Season 1, but I don't know if it's like an HBO thing or if it's like a regular TV thing. I don't know.
Who knows?
Okay, you tell us. All right, now we have the soundtrack to The Mary Poppins Returns, $17.95. This is, okay, well, I don't recognize,
It's not like, it's a score.
It is, so it's cast,
soundtrack.
You've got the cast singing.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, everybody's favorite, is on that, so.
So is Emily Blunt, who plays Mary Poppins.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay,
Nice.
so $17.95 for that one. Okay, now we got YG, My Crazy Life, 2 LPs, $22.95, but there's also a limited deluxe for $27.95.
This is just
This says limited edition here, so that's
this
your
is
deluxe. And I don't know what makes it deluxe
I'm not sure either, actually.
because they're both 2 LPs.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something on the gatefold on the inside, or
What's
see,
the price difference?
4 bonus tracks.
Oh, gotcha. That's
If you
cool.
would read the stickers, you might, really excel at this. So anyway, that's that. We'll post the list for you down below. And yes, what do we have to talk about? Anything? Did you ever get into that show last week that you wanted so badly to get into?
No, didn't get in. I think no, I tried my hardest. Couldn't get in though.
Really? So you were out there on the pavement being turned away? That's
No,
sad.
I guess I didn't try that hard.
Okay.
But they said they were at maximum occupancy. I emailed them, so.
Okay, the fire marshal was probably out there counting heads. Oh, that's a shame.
Well.
All right. Well, okay, so this weekend, plenty of sun here in Monterey for a change, which is nice for us because we are we're very tired of the rain and the cold, aren't we?
Yeah, even I was getting sick of it after
See,
a while.
that's like, it's too much is too much. So, all right, we're open from 12 to 4. Cass and I later in the week are going to post something for you to announce a little record store day thing that we got going. So we'll do that for you. But for now, we're just talking about the music. So we will see you next time. Thanks for joining us.